Good morning, everyone. We have got the details on Ninetales and which ingredients it's gonna have. So let's pop into RaenonX to have a look at it. So you can see here at the RaenonX website, which you can find in the video description, that it's gonna have beans as its mono potential ingredient. It does also have the corn in the second slot, which is quite interesting, particularly to me. I haven't got a Beware yet, and so if I somehow can find a really strong berry / skill build on the Ninetales with double corn, I'm gonna be super excited personally. Then it has potatoes in the last slot. I think for me, I will want the double corn if I somehow can find it. I know for a lot of the dishes that the corn here is gonna be quite nice, because most of us will probably spend a lot of this week and next week preparing our ingredients bag for whatever dishes we'll try to make during the anti-research event. We'll get back to that in some future videos. I'll probably try to cover that soon, but I haven't had the chance to do it yet. And then these numbers, as you can see, the ingredient drop rate and the skill trigger rate are still under works. So they are marked in red with this big exclamation mark. And if I'm not mistaken, this value has shifted a little bit. It started at 2. I'm hoping that it's going to settle between 3 and 4%. If it somehow is 4%, that's going to be incredible. It's going to be insane. But I think what we can expect is probably around 3. If it's any less than 3, I'm almost wondering why they would put this energizing cheer on it to begin with, but that's just me. So you can check out the RaenonX website in the video description. They are usually the first to update things like this, and so people like me who make the videos will be a little bit slower. But overall, if you're here for the discussion, obviously the video is going to be interesting too, but we just have to wait for these numbers right here. So with that said, I was thinking we could hop into the expansion and we can clear out some of this. Oops. Hang on a second. Didn't want to play along. There we go. And then we can bring in the Ninetales, because for me personally, I would first and foremost, obviously, want the berry finding. But I think after that, for me, I would be pretty satisfied with a careful nature, just because it is still ingredients down and it is main skill chance up. Because of the potential to drop corn here, I'm almost wondering if just a nature that is neutral speed up or neutral main skill chance up. I feel like there are a lot of potential builds here where really the main focus here is the subskills. So I'm thinking something like this would be preferred for me personally. And then this is the hopes and dreams simulator, so we can put in the helping speed M, and then potentially, yeah, I guess you could have the skill level up M at some point here too. But something like this, in my opinion, would be very, very strong. I do want the main skill chance up though, for the most part. And once you have the berry finding, that's more or less the only thing you want on a berry finder. It is, or a berry specialist, it's a plus 50% boost. And for the most part, what happens here with the nature or the speed, it doesn't really adjust it that much. And so for me personally, I'm going to look for berry finding, skill trigger, and a main skill chance up nature. So for the nature here, I got like a 3 out of 25 plus 3 out of 25. So we have the main skill chance up without the speed down, and we have the speed up without the main skill down. So it's probably around like 20% chance to get a decent nature here. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. So for me, I want the A, B, B pattern. If I can find a triple beans, I guess that's going to be fine too. But for the most part, I don't care too much about the ingredients. I want mostly just this berry finding skill trigger combo. even though the skill rate here is looking to be around 2%, 2.5%, I'm hoping that the final number will be around 3.5%, 3, 4. 4 would be my dream scenario. And if anything, if it turns out to be 3, then during increased skill triggers, during events and such, then that should be buffed up to 4.5, which is essentially where I want it. And then you can carry it further with the skill trigger M and the main skill chance up nature. So to an extent, I'll treat this as a skill specialist. I, for one, am just super excited about Ninetales. It's probably a B tier Pokemon at best, but I am likely gonna find a good one at some point and invest in it. I'm just curious to see if I can find it throughout this week and next week so that I can have it ready for at least the second week of the Entei research. During that week, you'll have a +3 temporary increase to the main skill level, which means if you can find a Ninetales that is caught as a Vulpix, then you'll have main skill level 2. And then I don't remember if the Energizing Cheer S has the level 7 yet, but let's say you put 1 main skill seed into it, and during that second week then it will be main skill level 6, and it's pretty fast. So if you can get it up to like level 30 or something, then the berry finding skill trigger combo here is going to be very strong, and potentially you can run the Ninetales as your primary healer. And if you are lacking a little bit, you can do a tag team with the Ninetales or your standard healer. So Wigglytuff, Sylveon, and Gardevoir, you just switch in Ninetales and those as you need. So those are my thoughts on the Ninetales. Should you hunt for it? Should you invest in it? It very much depends on your situation. I, for one, think a supplemental healer at some point could be useful. And given that this is a berry specialist, first and foremost, if you can just score that berry finding, then overall you're going to have a very strong Pokemon, and you're going to get these supplemental healing that is also targeting the Pokemon that has the lowest energy with a high likelihood. It's something like 50 or 60%. So that is going to be huge. I, for one, will hunt this quite a bit, but I will consider it a shorter hunt as long as I can find the berry finding. And yeah, I mean, for example, if I find the berry finding helping speed M and then maybe like the skill level up M here, I'm not going to be too upset. And maybe the adamant nature, and then I probably will down value the ingredients here personally, even though you get a +1 during the fire or the research for the Entei. But we'll just have to see. I feel the Ninetales is quite flexible as long as you score berry finding, and so we'll just have to dive in with the discussions throughout the week and next week and the week after whenever I find a Vulpix. So whenever you see Vulpix in my thumbnails from now on, you should definitely click on it and watch for the discussion, and also drop your thoughts on it. Ninetales is a little bit of a tricky Pokemon to figure out because you have so many options. And with that, I think we should leave off this video. You can leave a like if you did. It really does help out with the channel. And if you find these videos interesting and valuable to you, you can consider becoming a YouTube member of the channel by clicking the join button. If you're on mobile, that option may not be there, but on a desktop, there should be a big join button where you can support the channel. So, thank you for watching.